one of the biggest reasons why your outbound is not working for you is because you have too many SDRs and not enough marketers. You have built the engine, but you don't have the fuel, and if that's the case, your go-to-market is totally inefficient. So in this video, I'm going to give you a quick overview of why having too many SDRs is an issue and how to calculate the right SDR-marketer ratio, and why you need to calculate the number of SDRs based on how many marketing team members you have and not based on how many AEs you have. So first of all, let's talk about why having too many SDRs is a problem and why it is happening. First one is email chaos. SDR will often send emails manually that could be just automated. Second, no fuel. Most prospects aren't immediately ready for a meeting. Many prospects need to read the content, download the resource, attend an event first, or something similar. You need the marketing team to create this value-add content. Third one, no testing before scaling. With SDR sending out individual email campaigns, you won't be able to test and scale what's working as quickly. What's working for SDR should be automated if possible, and without marketing and RevOps, this won't really happen. You will be stuck adding new SDRs forever, and you won't really achieve economics of scale. 4 is the demo focus and full funnel focus. SDR will often over-index their lead gen and outreach over the audience that gets them the meeting. But only 3, 5, 10% of your market is in market, and you can't really change that. 5, teams. One team typically overtakes the other, and you don't get the benefits of both teams' perspective. And the reason why is this happening is because your calculation is wrong. It's based on how many number of A's you have in the team. You think that if you add an SDR, it will X the results, but it won't. You focus on over-attribution, not really how people buy. You think SDR should focus only on outbound and marketing should only handle inbound. You overvalue the engine and undervalue the fuel. You want to feed a role for the A's. The traditional definition of SDR is that they are responsible for prospecting, cold outreach, and qualifying leads for sales. The problem with this is that much of that prospecting, outreach, and qualifying can be automated by a small number of people with the same effectiveness of having a large SDR team. Think about hospitality. Marketers are the online booking and the front desk team. SDRs are the concierge. When you think of SDRs in this way, you will realize that you will need fewer SDRs, and the number of SDRs should always be calculated based on the funnel. You don't need too many concierge team members if there aren't enough people waiting at the front desk. SDRs can only capture people who are in market, but if you have no team members who will bump up that fuel, the SDRs will have nothing to work on, nothing to close. So here is the solution. Invest in fuel and not just the engine. Second, use SDRs right. Have a clear rules of engagement, and calculate the SDR and marketer ratio. More on this. So how to invest in the funnel and not just the engine? So first of all, marketing can help with segment your audience with the marketing sales automation tool. Other one is you can also test and scale different channels, medium, offer messaging, on-page, website, cold emails, webinars. They can also help you create valuable content. If you don't think that the content they are creating valuable, tell them, give them insights, and they can rework on that. Because at the end of the day, what you want to avoid is that you don't want to send emails that says that, do you have time to connect in the next few ways to schedule a meeting? That's very boring and it's not working. Versus in the meantime, sales can help with filling the gap in the automation. There is no tool that have 100% 100 coverage. You can also work with those kinds of leads that you can scrape, or the marketing team can scrape you. They can also be very useful distributing content, like doing actual social selling. You can also work with marketing to pre-create some of those content parts for you. Or if you don't think that they can do it or their content is valuable, then give them insights of what you are seeing working very well when it comes to prospects, and ask them if there is a way to automate this with ChatGPT. And when it comes to the overlap, like prospecting, account research, this is something that can be manual and automated. But the thing is that anything that an SDR can do, and it's not a relationship building focused activity, you can literally automate that, and you should automate that. So your SDR team can focus on more high value added tasks versus updating data in Excel sheets, Salesforce records, or HubSpot records. Now, the second solution that you want to do is that use SDRs right. Again, prospecting, account research, many of these things can be automated. How else you can work with SDRs is that they can help you finding contact information when you don't have it, or you want to improve your coverage. Again, no tool will have 100% coverage. SDRs can also help you with test new audiences in a manual way to get more data before you start building out all those automated. They can also, of course, engage with the buying community, help you with prospecting where you can scrape or find a list that covers your TAM. They can also help with distributing content, do the social selling, as well as share feedback directly from customers that can feed marketing team, and they can also work with messaging people and book meetings from certain kind of channels where it's really hard to automate any of those parts. Now the third part that you want to do is having clear rules of engagement. To build a sustainable business, you need both short-term and long-term focus. And it's so great that marketing and sales teams are structured in different way and as well as their goals. But in able to close and retain a customer, there are typically many handoff and multiple directions. And in my opinion, this part is often overlooked. So here is how to get it right. Marketing create initiatives, campaign and content that drive awareness with the goal of getting the prospects to the website or to be warmed up before sales reaches out. Marketing is running the core email flows across the entire funnel unless the leads get passed off to the SDRs when one-on-one outreach is needed. Accounts identified as high value or enterprise, they can be also automatically routed to the core email nurture flows to SDRs for individual wide global one-on-one outreach and cold calling. Similarly, for leads or accounts that don't move from one stage to another within a certain number of days, they should be also moved to an SDR for individual email and phone number of outreach if they are qualified or they are recycled leads, like that leads came back or these kind of use cases. In this case, when they are recycled, they will get less frequent nurturing emails from marketing until they are requalified basically. If SDRs find specific patterns and processes that work very well in their individual outreach, marketing should absolutely 100% should automate these things into the core flows. The issue here is that this often gets skipped because SDRs really fear that they will lose commission once it gets automated, but it's really best for the business overall to really automate what's working. Incentivization, in my opinion, should be built into these kind of commission structures so they don't fear that once it gets automated, they will lose that part. Now the last part is that, okay, great, we all know the fundamentals, but at the end, how many SDRs do I need, really? The simple rule is that SDR team size should be always larger than the total marketing team size, which include growth, product marketing, content / brand and communication and marketing ops ever. It's totally okay if you hire an SDR before marketing, especially if you are transitioning from a founder-led sales, but very fast you need to ramp up the marketing side as well. They really perform the best, both teams, if they both together participate in building the full funnel and work across the entire funnel. Generally speaking, the marketing team should be always larger than the SDR team, if not the whole sales team, in the case of bottom-up models. Past a certain number of SDRs and you will basically get diminishing returns and you need to automate. So when it comes to the right SDR and marketer ratio, let's say that if you have one SDR in the team because you're transitioning from a founder-led sales to your normal sales-led sales, you should have one SDR and one marketer. They can work both together to work on the fuel and engine, what works, what not. They have some initial sparks that you will use to build the marketing team build on that. Great. Now the second phase, when you have one growth and ops person, one product marketing or more brand focused marketing, basically they will help you with nurturing, segmentation, operation, and SDRs can do the inbound early on. When you have 7 SDRs, you should have minimum 5 marketers, 2 from growth, 1 from ops, 1 from content, and 1 from product marketing. Basically, there will be a dedicated inbound SDR needed in this case. There will be automated ownership scoring, many emails will be automated, everything that is working already built into the core nurture flows, and only one-on-one really high-touch personalization will be done by the SDRs, including social touches and cold calling. Where you will have more than 8 SDRs, you should have minimum 6 marketers, and you should not really have more than these 8 number of SDRs because you will get diminishing resource and you really can automate many of those parts. There will be deep connection between tooling, HubSpot, Salesforce, or Outreach, SalesLoft, and other kind of programmatic email marketing tools like SmartLead or Instantly that marketing / growth team will use. And then you can use advanced scoring and nurturing, and basically more specialist people and experts will manage each part of the ROA, the clear rules of engagement. So again, it's really not a great idea to have more than 10 SDRs because many of these things that they are doing could be already like automated, and everything that is working, you should build it back into the core flows. And marketing and ops team can help you do that, and you should absolutely doing that so you can maximize and get the most out of both teams exercise, and that can help you get a more and better effectiveness overall at scale. So we have gone through why having too many SDRs is a problem, why is this happening, what's the good size of the SDR marketer ratio, how to invest in the fuel and not just the engine itself, how else we can work with SDRs to fill in the gaps that marketing and operation can do, and what's the right SDR and marketer ratio. So really the guidelines to ensure SDRs are operating efficiently is one that SDRs should not scale linearly. There are diminishing returns on SDR when you do that. SDRs tend to build out email campaigns in silos that doesn't allow you to learn and optimize and scale. Marketing will improve the efficiency of SDRs, so you should not hire more than a couple of SDRs before you have an efficient marketing engine. And second one, marketers plus ops are the automators and SDRs are the one-on-one communicators. When you group these two people and groups together, you get the maximum output and you will have just a much more economic scale. With automation, you can learn faster scale, what works, what not works, and with one-on-one communication, you can learn. You can also early on, and anything that is working well for SDRs for their individual outreach, you need and you should be absolutely automating that part so you can achieve a greater economic scale. What is a really good thing to think about that, okay, do I have the right SDR marketer ratio? One is just to use this kind of like diagram to see that what's the like general rule. Again, general rule of thumb, you should have more marketers than SDRs. And another thing that you can also ask is that what our SDRs are doing that an email or growth marketer can do. Can one email marketer do the work of 3-4 SDRs here? And the last part is that what are some of the really manual work that my SDRs are doing right now, and basically I could automate that with ops and marketing so I can put them in the more relationship building activities that are hard to automate. Basically, if you follow these steps and takeaways, how to define the SDR marketer ratio, how to have a clear rule of engagement and use the SDRs right and invest in fuel and not just engine, you will have much more effectiveness and you won't fall into the trap that you have a better engine than the fuel. You should always have an engine if you already have the fuel part.